They view the shopping cart. Once they've got their product in the shopping cart, they then need to log in to give me their details. They then, once they've logged in, properly place the order, and once the order has been properly placed, I get a completed order. This is what the analytics page looks like once you set up a funnel, and what I can tell from here is I can tell where the people came from and arrived on this page. So if the beginning of my funnel is actually the shopping cart page, I can tell from here, well, they got to the shopping cart page from the entrance. Most of the people came from the entrance, but some of them came from the home page. Others came from the privacy page. That's quite interesting, because if people are coming through my shopping cart from the privacy page, they are wanting to make sure of their information. Their information is going to be secure with us. They're actually reading our privacy information before they're actually deciding to buy something from us. And then I can see how many I convert. So once they're on the shopping cart page, I can see how many convert to go to the login, because that's in my funnel. That's the next thing I want them to do. I want them to, from the shopping cart to actually log in. And I'll see that only 7% of people that arrive here actually go through the process of logging in. So I might be turning people away at this point. There might be a lot of people who say, well, this is too much hassle. I wanted to buy it, I put it into the shopping cart, it's too much hassle to log in. Or there might be something that's putting them off. So 7% of people are actually going through to the login. I can also tell from the funnel that 2,452 in this case, quite a large majority of people are straight away leaving the website. Once I put stuff in the shopping cart, they're leaving. I can also then see, well, okay, they've got to the login page. I've now got 7% of those people that have arrived and have actually logged in on the login page. Of the people that log in, 61% go to the next step. That's quite a big percentage of people. People have got stuff in the shopping cart, they've logged in, then more than half of them then say, well, yeah, I'm going to buy. And they actually commit to buy. And then once we come out to the end of this, of the 3,481 people that actually came in, 119 of those are actually conversions. So from the funnel, we're actually able to tell where people drop off. And as Craig has identified, well, maybe there is a real problem here with this process of actually logging in or creating an account for that user. So we might want to actually look at why that is. Maybe we can help with this figure by redesigning the login page, or getting to the login page, or
you could do it the other way around. They can log in and then go through shop. You know, you can have a double thing, or just have paid.
Exactly.
Buttons as well, whatever.
Exactly. You might want to rethink the whole path, the linear path of how people actually get to completing an order. I have included, or Dora has included, a slide in the notes that actually has a piece of code that you can add to anything on the website. So, for example, those of you that know a little bit of HTML, what you can do is you can insert the on-click event into your HTML code. And what that will do is actually, if you don't know how to do this, maybe speak to your developer or speak to somebody here who might be able to kind of point you in the right direction. But what you can do is on any link, on any Flash object, on anything, you can put a piece of JavaScript that will call the page tracker track page view event that's part of the Google Analytics API, which is a programming interface. All you do is you put it in, and you put in the name of the event. Once you've put those onto your pages, they will start to appear, after a couple of days, they'll start to appear when people click on them in your Google Analytics. You'll actually see those clicks as events in your Google Analytics, and you'll find them in your content section. Under content, you'll find there's a section called event tracking, and what will start to appear are your events in there. You'll be able to see, for example, which events have been clicked on and how many times they've been clicked on. To make sure that you identify the actual event properly. So give it a name, or give it a relative page name, or something like that that allows you to identify it. So if I, for example, had a PDF, in this case, a PDF map, version of a map that's going to be downloaded, I might put in their JavaScript, put my page tracker code in there, and then quotes here in the middle there, put their downloads, it's a map. Some way to identify it's that thing that will appear in Google Analytics for you when they've clicked on it, and keep it. So this works quite well with video. Flash can also do this. You can actually get Flash to execute this JavaScript. So if you've got Flash developer that knows a little bit of action scripting, you can get that put actually into your Flash components. So if you've got a Flash video player or Flash music player, you can actually track each of the button clicks in the Flash component and have that written back to Google Analytics as well. Very, very easy to do. All the code is there. Google have created the code for us. You just need to know how to implement it and how to put it into your components or onto your page. Those of you that know a little bit of ActionScript, you can actually trigger events. So you could say, well, when the playhead gets to the end of the video or halfway through the video, you could trigger an event. Yeah, you'd have to custom write an event handler to actually look at it, but then you could trigger an event that tells Google Analytics, well, they've got halfway through the video, they've got to the end of the video. Yeah, so it is possible to do. Another very, very, very important part of Google Analytics is making sure that you actually look at your stats and interpret your stats and then react based on the stats. What's a good idea is actually to set up a schedule for yourself. It might be once a week, might be once a day, might be once a month, to actually make sure that you go in, look at the stats, and react based on the stats that you see. It might be that you don't need to do anything, but it might be that you've had a significant drop in traffic because somebody has made a spelling error on one of the URLs on one of the links and nobody's getting through to the contact form or whatever. Looking at your stats and making decisions on how you're going to improve your website based on the stats. It's very, very important to do that. Otherwise, there's no point in having Google Analytics at all if you're not going to actually make changes that are recommended by Analytics from the stats. One of the other things you might want to do as well is every 3 to 6 months, 9 months or so, actually have a separate look at the stats and look at the trends. Look at how the site's stats are behaving over a longer period of time. Not just month by month or week by week. Look at how the site's been behaving over 6 months or a year or even 2 years. What are the key indicators that you look for when it comes to your stats? What are the things that are really important to you? If you're going to be looking at a stat, which is the first one that's most important to you?
Number of visits, bounce rate.
Number of visits, bounce rate, making sure that we're not losing too many people when they enter from search engines onto specific pages on the site. We might want to investigate why we're not converting, why people are actually bouncing off the site. The things that we think are important are the number of visits. In other words, the number of people that actually come and look at the website. Doesn't matter where they come from, but they actually arrived at the website. Number of visits, the number of pages per visit can be important as well. If people are arriving at a site, looking at 2 pages and then leaving regularly, that might be a bad thing. So you might want to make sure that the number of pages that people are actually looking at might be a good thing. Might be that you only have 2 pages on the website and they're actually looking at the whole website. Or it might be that they're actually going from the product page to the booking page. And the time on site, we've already spoken about time on site once again, but time on site can also be important, especially if you've got an informational site. New and returning visitors, the number of visitors that you have that are new visitors is important to you, especially if you're running pay-per-click campaigns. You want to know that a lot of the people that you're getting are people that are new and not the same people that you've already had visiting you on the website before. And you also want to know if people are returning to your website, what the loyalty is of your customers on the website.
One thing that we've got is that on our website, a lot of people visit our homepage and then log in to a secure server.
Yeah.
We don't allow Google any access to that.
Yes, as you shouldn't.
So how would we track that really? Because it looks like people aren't spending very much time on the site because they log in, go to our report centre, view all their sort of snapshots, turnover reports and everything.
You might want to have a look at an advanced segment that will say if people have arrived on the homepage and then you would need to track the login, so where they exit to, the login page. If they go through the login page, then let's exclude all that traffic. People that are logging in, we exclude that traffic, but we capture everything else.
Okay.
Could be one way to do it. We can tell, for example, our top page is the home page, and then our next top page is the course list page. So people actually go and look at all the list of courses that we have and what dates they're running. And then the e-business page, and the reason probably the e-business page is that's probably the most heavily indexed page that we have. All of our courses are listed there, and people tend to quite often arrive at that page. But just on the note of new and returning visitors can be important to you. For a site like eChampions, what you might want to do for something like eChampions is actually exclude returning visitors, because a lot of people that actually need to get to the back end of eChampions, like Leanne's site, they want to log in and then they want to just look at the back end of the website. So we don't want their stats to actually dilute the new people that we might be interested in looking at the stats for. We can separate them out, but the new visitors might be more important to us than the returning visitors.